Welcome to Solarize. Today we'll be discussing installation of the bottom portion of the Sun Glo daylighting system. We'll need certain tools and certain components to do this installation. We'll need tin snips, a screw gun, tape measure, plumb bob, sheetrock saw, pin, mask for the attic, and a flashlight for the attic. So these are the components for the bottom portion of the Sun Glo daylighting system. You have your fire ring, which mounts into the sheetrock. You have your receiving collar, which mounts into the fire ring. You have your heat shield, which goes on top of the diffuser, and then of course the diffuser mounts to the bottom of the fire ring once the system is totally complete. You have your 4 screws and your 4 speed nuts. That goes, the long screws go into the fire ring, and the short screws go into the receiving collar. This is a little template that we'll use. I'll show you later on how to cut a circle out of our ceiling. So I want to get a close-up on this ring. You will see 4 holes, and once we cut the hole in the ceiling, this will mount inside, and these screws will go through the sheetrock, and then we will take the speed nut and put it on top of the screw. And you'll want to use, your fingers on both sides because it's sharp, and it'll keep it on evenly. And just screw it in. You'll sandwich it between the sheetrock and the speed nut. Once you do that with all 4 screws and all 4 speed nuts, you'll take your receiving collar and you'll place it inside here. You want to make sure it's even with the bottom. You can see where it slips right nice and evenly. And you'll take your small tappers and you'll put 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll go through the receiving collar and through the fire ring itself, so it'll be a nice strong hold. So here's the hallway we're going to light up today. As you can see, it's pitch black. Only way they can have light is if we use electricity. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a 10-inch Sun Glo daylighting system right here, probably about 5-6 inches from this vent. That way it's going to light this hallway here, and it'll also light up the entryway and part of the living room. So once you find your area, you want to move the insulation out of the way. Try to remove about a 16 by 16 area is probably good. That way you have a clean work area. It's very important that while you're in the attic, you wear a mask or a respirator. You'll have airborne particles you don't want to get in your lungs. Now we want to measure our bay. It's about 18 inches. So the middle of the bay would be 9 inches. Take a 2-inch screw, 1-inch screw would be fine too. Go at 9 inches. Screw that down. There, now you've located the center of your bay. Now we're going to need to locate where we're going to mark the roof. We'll do that with a plumb bob. Doesn't have to be perfect, pretty close. Once you get it lined up, put your finger up to the roof decking and mark it with the marker. Measure the width of the bay, which is about 22 inches. So you're going to want 11 inches. Mark where 11 inches is. Take a 2 or 3 inch screw. Now we're going to use our template. You can see where our screw is here that we screwed down from the attic. You're going to put it right over there. Use your pin, put it in the inner hole, and mark it. Now this is popcorn sealing, so a little bit more difficult than most, but it'll give you. Now, cut your hole. I like to go halfway and come in and get back around. Now just put the ring in. Drill through the ring hole. Don't put it all the way in just yet. About halfway in each screw. Then you'll take the speed nuts we talked about. Go in there. You can feel the top of the screw. Use your two fingers like this. And then snug it. You don't have to be too tight. This needs to be snug. You'll feel it where the speed nut won't move anymore. Then keep going around to all the edges. Put it in your, squeeze it through there, grab it back, make sure it's flush. Now you can take the film, protect the films on there. And move it. In order to measure the tubing, you'll need to hook your tape measure to the top pitch plate of the flashing and measure down to the top of your receiving collar, which is about 72 inches. Then add 3 inches, and that will give you your total tubing length. So now we're going to do a step-by-step of how to put together the tubing sections. They come in 2 feet. It has a liner inside, so we'll want to remove that liner. So you see the line right here. We're going to want to be about 1/16 of an inch. Let's beside that line. Take a piece of tape. That'll hold it in place for now. Go to the other side and you'll see the line there, and you go on the opposite side of the line, about 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch. Put that piece of tape there, hold it in place. Now with the tape supplied, you'll tape the complete joint. Then help the creases out. So now we need to put the one tube inside of the other tube. I'm going to put it in about an inch. So they're 24 inches long. So I'll put it in until it hits 23. And then tape the joint. Do the same thing, rub it together with your fingers, make it the smooth as possible. Now we have screws supplied, 2 per each pipe, and we're going to screw the sections together so it'll hold. Flip to the other side. And that is how to do the tubing section. Let's put it in the roof. Once you drop down the tube from the attic and it overlaps the inside of the receiving collar, you want to put a screw joining the tube to the receiving collar to hold it in place, and then tape the joint all the way around the whole complete circle, joining the receiving collar to the tube. So now we have our diffuser and our heat plate, and we're just going to place it right up in here, and it magnetizes and adjust it. So now that we've gotten the bottom portion of the Sun Glo daylighting system finished, you can see it lights up the whole hallway, the entryway, and part of the living room, all without using electricity. So now let's go finish the roof.